It has been a red-hot market the last couple of weeks and months. Are you getting the calls, Diggis, from your clients saying, on paper, I'm up a lot, I've made a lot of money, what should I do? Should I sell and take some profits, especially if I'm a little concerned about the possibility of higher capital gains tax rates next year?
Yeah, Brian, first of all, thanks for having me. One of the things that we're seeing is that the call option volume has been significantly higher than in past periods. You know, we're looking at about a 22 million contracts in call options compared to an average of about 10 million. So to your earlier point, this market has really run. And so what we're sharing with our clients is that you want to be aware of the exposure, and this could be a time to put in some protective put options to start using those option strategies if you have a worry about the bottom of this market. And because we're seeing that the market could pull back sometime in the first half of 2021.
So how does that work? Are you buying S&P 500 puts? Are they short dated? Are they long dated, Diggis? Are you buying out a year? Are you adding a little volatility, a little VIX action into the mix?
Yeah, so what we do is that we look at about 90 days out. And so say, for instance, if a client has a worry about, say they really are concerned about the market going down some 20%. Now, we're not saying that's going to happen, but say they have that target, we would say, let's buy put options at that point. Those put options will probably be not that expensive. So we will be going long puts to give a floor, and then we can short call options to generate income to be able to cover the cost of the puts.
Stephanie Link, we're getting down into the Christmas Eve weeds here with Diggis. I kind of love it here. I mean, are you doing the same thing for your clients as well, saying, listen, don't sell stocks, but maybe you need to watch and buy a little protection out there? Are you implementing those types of strategies?
Well, the way I do it is I don't use options, but I actually adjust my cash levels of what I own in terms of percentage. Right now, my cash level is pretty low. And that's because I continue to see very strong fundamentals, and I'm not going to try to time the market on a monthly or quarterly basis. I'm trying to look 12 months out. And yes, we've talked about this before. Did we see a pull forward at all from all this good news that we saw in terms of the recovery in the market and the economy? Yeah, we did. But I also think that there's a lot of momentum, there's a lot of liquidity, and that's not going to change in 2021. The Fed is not going to change their tune in terms of interest rates. If anything, Yellen is actually going to go the other way in terms of being very dovish and working with the Fed in that manner. So I feel like fundamentals are still very strong. I'm trying to find good quality balance sheets. Yeah. And as I mentioned before, I'm leaning on cyclicals. But I want to own technology. I think those are very, very important. And I'm waiting for this fiscal package just so that we can stop with the headache and the drama of Washington.
Well, quickly, Stephanie, does it matter how much we ultimately get? Does it matter if it matters to the families. Obviously, it matters to the consumer, to the small business, the tens of millions who are struggling, particularly in the hospitality and restaurant industries. They've been crushed. But from a market perspective, does it matter if it's 600 or 2,000 a person?
No, I don't really think so. I mean, obviously, the consumer would be better off if it's 2,000, but then obviously, what does that do to the deficits and the debt and that whole story on the other side of things? So, I think it's a matter of just getting it done. And then let's not talk about it for a while. Because by the way, Brian, I'm not entirely convinced we don't need another one once Biden gets after the inauguration. We may have another conversation about more fiscal, depending on the vaccine progress and who's getting it and when they're getting it, right? Because the fiscal, it's the bridge. It's the bridge between now and when we can get people vaccinated. And that's really a timing thing. So I'm not ruling out additional stimulus at all.
Yeah.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.